Shiu. This is Fierce Truth Seeker, the Red Road East television program. And I am joined with my godmother and guest slash co-host, Firebird Gray Wolf. Say Shio to the
Lucio, Chihidu, how are you?
yeah.
Nice to be here.
So we are continuing the discussion from the previous live that I did this morning. And this is a continuation of the series Moors and Indians, Friends or Enemies. Okay. And the reason for the topic is because more people are starting to show interest in the topic. So, therefore, I am continuing the series, if there continues to be an interest, you know. Um, we will first give you some updates in regards to comments. I get a lot of comments, and some of them, many of them, are going years back. So I don't want any one particular person to feel that I'm singling them out, because if for some reason I read your particular comment, if I feel it important to read your comment, that means that that particular comment has either been made by many, many, many other people, or, you showed a genuine interest in knowing something about your particular question, and you're not just trolling. Okay. I also don't get offended if for some reason I don't,
Um, uh,
if for some reason I
also,
don't get, or should I say, I don't remember who you are by name or by comment. And I say that because I get so many comments in the comment section that I may forget your name, or I may forget that we previously had dialogue um, in the past. I know somebody yesterday or this morning um, had thought that I was talking about them um, from a particular show from somebody else's channel when I made certain comments yesterday. And actually, I had no idea that I even had dialogue with that particular person about, the particular discussion in that comment section. So never think that I'm singling you in particular out, because I'm most of the time, most of the time, speaking broadly. Okay, because again, I get comments coming from people in the community that they call the Aboriginal community today, and they all say the same thing. So um, don't think I'm singling you out in particular unless I say I'm specifically singling you out. Okay. Um, so um, we spoke last night about Moors and Indians. And as you can see today, I have the fez on. Okay. And I know that's going to cause all of the cockroaches to come out the corners, and, all the rats. draws them out, boy. I'm telling you. Anytime I say the word more, or anytime I put on the fez, they come out in droves. Okay. Um, However, this particular headdress
Mm-mm.
is ancient, and it is ancient in this land. Okay. Um, it's ancient in this land, and the fierce truth seeker can prove that. Okay, I showed y'all yesterday. I showed y'all, Firebird. You weren't on um, this morning, but I showed all of the files
Mm-mm.
that I have just dealing with the topic of um, Moors and Indians, and showing that the two are not mutually exclusive. I got files proving that.
Files and files.
All of those, these are like real files. These are not like on the computer files. These are like literal paper files from like back in the days. You know about that, Firebird. We know about that
30
because we
years.
come from an era when there was no personal computers.
Right, right. Exactly.
Files. When you said files, you meant like in a file cabinet.
Right.
You know. Um, anyway, I like to incorporate humor in my discussions, because I like to keep a positive energy, not so much, the malice and the hate, that you hear often these days, Um, but when there's certain trigger words that just for some reason it sets people off, you know, if I say the word more, or if I say the word Africa, you know, it sets a trigger, you know, and I understand, overstand, and understand that a lot of people have certain feelings about Moors, some from bad experiences, um, others from just misinformation. Okay, but I spoke yesterday about being cautious of making generalizations, because if you make a generalization about any people across the board, um, that is speaking from an uninformed perspective, because you never use the absolutes. You never use the absolutes. That's one thing that everybody should know, because again, like I said last night, if I were to say to someone, well, all niggas like is pig feet, you know, and collard greens and chitlins,
Mm-mm.
you know, and made that a general statement. Let's say if I was Caucasian, and I made that statement, many of
Right, right,
them would not be
right.
happy.
Stereotyping.
It's stereotyping, you know. Or if
Mm-hmm.
I said, all of y'all live in the projects,
Mm-hmm.
um, that would be what you call stereotyping.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to use make it a teachable moment in this, in that when you say all Moors um, this and that, you have to be very careful. Or, like we find in this Aboriginal community of today, you have people who say, well, I'm not a Moor, uh, uh, or they'll say, I'm not African, or whatever. Okay. Like I said, I've been walking this red road for 3 decades. I've heard it all. And I know,
Right.
Firebird, you've been
Exactly.
around many more moons than I have. So, too, and you've heard it all. Um,
Heard it all.
and a lot of people who I know personally who had their chests stuck out, okay? Chest more muscular than mine, you know, and I got a muscular chest. Um,
Mm-mm.
they I've heard them say, "Oh, I'm not African," or this, that, and the other. I'm not the blah 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 blah. And years later, upon doing more genealogy, be like, you know, they reluctantly say, yeah, I'm X, Y, and Z, and yeah, there's some African in there too. And you see there, you know, they got their head down in shame. Okay, so you have to be very careful with making statements like that, because on a spiritual level, you know, spirit will check you. And if you're saying something like that, and you have those ancestors, okay, those ancestors will reveal that to you and make you take those words back. Okay. Um, I have nothing against um Africans. And by the way, when I say Moor, or just in general, um, Moor is not mutually exclusive to Africa.
Right, right, right.
Okay, Moors were all over the planet.
Yes.
Okay, that's what, you know, people are not understanding,
Right,
overstanding, or
right, right.
understanding. Okay, um, so to make a broad generalization about Moors, um, it really shows that you have a lot more studying to do. And that's why I always like to refer people to the lecture series that I did entitled The Empire Strikes Black. Okay, because, and I use the word black, strikes black, meaning it strikes black. That misnomer black, we strike it down.
Don't do a Will Smith, Chris Rock thing now.
Yeah, smack it down, do the Will Smith.
No, no, no.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Yeah.
Don't do that.
You know, um, so uh, yeah, so again, I wear the headdress, which, you know, usually you see me in the Cherokee um, turban. Okay, um, I also wear the fez sometimes, because when I put on the fez, okay, this is ancient. Okay, this is ancient on the land, more ancient, most ancient. Okay, um, you know, even in ancient times, it was turbans too as well. You know, we had different types of headdresses, but this is just as ancient as any other on this land. Okay, and I will be soon showing that. Okay, and I promised that when I first did the series, but I never continued to do the series because a lot of people didn't show interest um, in the information. Again, you know, um, people could at least give a thumbs up, you know, to the channel. Again,
Exactly.
you know, it helps to get the information out there. And me, I'm the type of person, I never do research from a biased perspective. I've even taken down videos of people who have come on the show with misinformation, you know, because that's just, you know, me personally. You know, I don't like to put any type of information out there that's not correct. And if someone can present me with um, research to demonstrate that something that I said was inaccurate, I don't have a problem with going back and say, hey, you know, this was inaccurate. You know what I'm saying? I can change the perspective, you know, and address it live without a problem, because I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I'm not trying to sway anyone to um, believe anything that I say. That's one thing I don't want people to do, is because that's what's going on too much nowadays. You have too many people who are just taking people's word
Right,
and
right, right.
not doing their own research, and that's how you get in trouble. Because I learned um, decades ago that you have to fact check what people say, because if you go back and you try to regurgitate something that somebody else
Mhm.
says, you could be regurgitating misinformation, and that has happened to me when I was younger. So I said, wait a minute. And I'd sound like a fool. I'd be like, and somebody would present me with information that was to the contrary. I'm like, dang, but such and such said X, Y, and Z, and you know, and that person was way off. So ever since then, I stopped just believing what people say. I say, okay, whatever I hear somebody say, I'm gonna go back and fact check it because they could be wrong. And I tell that to anyone who is um, listening to the channel. Don't go by what I say. I could be lying to you. I could be wrong. You know, so fact check behind what I say. You know,
I had
um,
someone that came on my show and wrote in a comment and tried to basically change who you were. So people looking at that comment would believe anything that was said, you know?
mm, mm,
And I mean, people really go to the extremes to convince another person of something without, like you said, studying, you know?
mm,
And that's how a lot of nonsense gets out there because, slander, making up, rearranging history, leaving out history facts.
mm. Exactly, like you said, leaving out history. Like I said yesterday,
Mm-mm.
a lot of people from that community um, don't know that what they call the Aboriginal movement of today was hijacked from the Moorish movement. Okay, and a lot of them don't know that, and what they did was they took the best parts of that particular Moorish paradigm and left. Well, I won't say the best part because it wasn't the best parts, but they took out some of the key parts and left out the Moorish. They say, "Oh yeah, we're Aboriginal and autochthonous," but they left out the Aboriginal and autochthonous
Yeah,
Moors.
conveniently left it out
They left it out,
on
you know.
purpose.
Or they'll say, "Oh yeah, we're mound builders," but they left off it was Moorish mound builders.
Mortgage mound builders.
But they don't know because most of these people are too young. You know.
Someone wrote me, I know about the Moors. They're all dark skinned people. And I'm saying you really need to study,
Right, right. Moors came in various shades.
Don't go by what one group is about or what you heard. Sit down, open a book, and study.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know. Came with various shades, and you have to keep in the
Hair
perspective
textures,
time periods,
time
and things
periods,
of that nature. When
experiences.
admixtures came in and things of that nature. You know, um, so we wanted to address some. Yeah, we started addressing comments. Um, there's one comment as well that I want to take a look at here. Give me 1 second. So I did a little short video of the Inwood Hill powwow on the Hudson um, a couple of years ago, and someone had see again and again. This is coming from this new paradigm. These are people who are coming from this new ideology, the repackaging of the American Aborigine, this, that, and the other. Um, and they said so they were playing powwow drums,
Right.
right? And also, there were different tribes at the powwow. And someone, I'm not going to name the name, someone said, "This is sick. That should be all of Harlem out there. They, the Indians. This is sad. These white Indians." Now, mind you, at that powwow,
Mm-mm.
you had Shinnecox out there.
I'm
You
talking
had
to one right now. Please tell them we're not Indian and we're not
who
Black Indians either.
said what who said what?
uh, they
Say
hate
that
the
again.
term. They hate the term Black Indian, like I do. You
Like
know.
I do too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Um.
he's Shinnecock.
Okay. Yeah. I never use that term unless it's for clarity's sake. Um. So now at that powwow, you had Matinacox out there. You had Shinnecox out there. You know. You had people from various tribes out there. Now, how does that sound to you? They're saying Matinacox, Shinnecox, and they're saying all of these white Indians out there. What's your take on that, Firebird? I mean, I'll let you before I go in. I'll let you put your 2 cents.
I'll say it in a nutshell. We've been mixing with other races of people forever, and indigenous people of this land also originally come in different shades. You know, there's not a history where everyone was across the board the same exact color, the same exact hair texture, you know? So people really need to sit down and study. You know, some of that prejudice and I think that hate will go away if you just study, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
if you say someone that's white skinned can't be Indian, then you're going to have to go on the other stream and say someone dark skinned can't be Indian. And isn't that basically what's been going about where you're fighting on skin color, hair texture, you know, your definition of an Indian person? I know a young man on a reservation. I'm not going to say which reservation, but it's out west. You know, he feels that all Indians should look like the ones on the nickel. Otherwise, they're pretendians. You know, he needs to sit down and pick up a book or ask someone their family history. You know, and come back and then tell me what does an Indian look like. You know,
Mm-hmm.
really,
Yep.
because one phenotype doesn't tell the whole story of Turtle Island at all, you know, and someone's faith, being Islamic or whatever, has nothing to do with your bloodline, you know, it has nothing to do with your bloodline. And a lot of people think that, oh, I know Indian people in the past in my personal circle, they would not embrace this young man I knew because he was Moorish. And they discriminated against him because he was Moorish. And, you know, he was indigenous. His family were Cherokee and other, other nations of Indians. And because that particular title, Moor, was in his family history. Oh, he's not an Indian fiber. We're not going to let him in. No, we're not going to. I'm like, that has nothing to do with his bloodline, you know, and you really need to stop it. And till this day, Fierce Truth Seeker, he has the biggest complex because he's
Mm,
been discriminated against. I told you about this discrimination in my family. You know, we spoke about that as well. You know, so that's
hmm.
my take on you know, white Indian and they shouldn't be, and it's just terrible. You know, we're not talking about people that are real fakes. We're talking about people that are of the blood and they're having this hard time being accepted because one phenotype is the only way to go, you know? And,
Hmm.
nowadays, when I told you when I was a child, there was no such thing as Black Indian. You know, some people may say it's in their family, but um, on the long run, you were either mixed or you were just straight up Indian, or, you know, you weren't classified as a Black Indian. And that's where a lot of the pseudo teachings are coming from now. It's like people are running with it, and making up and adding things. And they never even practice as indigenous people. They're just quoting from books or changing books or throwing in what they feel and making a whole new history of indigenous people and have no intentions of practicing as indigenous people.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And a lot of those people, like you mentioned, the family who discriminated against the indigenous brother, um, who
Terrible.
for, was practicing as a Moor. So you got to remember too, a lot of these people who are even calling, who are even, um, I don't want to use the word official, who are tribally affiliated Indians. A lot of them today don't even know the whole history because of the fact that a lot of the elders who had certain information had been killed off. And that's one of the things that the Lakota brother, Meredith Musa Quinn, was saying in the book Dakota Time Walkers, you know. And Meredith Musa Quinn, he said that he got his information from his lineage. They preserved a lot of the old history. And he was talking about how the people who had the information that he had, those elders were being killed off if they even spoke um, those ancient languages. And if there was even a rumor that those ancient languages were being spoken by certain people, they were being killed off.
Mhm.
Um, and so, a lot of people, even tribally affiliated today, don't even know the whole Moorish connection and things of that nature. I'm getting someone in the comment section. Let's see here. Um, okay. Okay. Someone is saying, hold on, let me look on the big screen. Okay. They're saying, I'm learning, so bear with me. Are you saying that the Native American Moors and who we call African American are the same people? Yes, that's basically what I'm saying. But that doesn't exclude um, those who also are have the um, Asian strain as well, because you got to remember that um, we were intermixing. Okay.
Yes.
So if you go back in your family, you'll find that, and, you do your genealogy and your lineage, you'll find that many of us, are related to people who that you guys call of Asian stock, or what you call anthropologically mongoloid. Okay, I know I am, you know, so
You see my eyes, right?
exactly, and you seen how my mother looks, so
Oh my goodness, that's my sister. You
she
know,
goes in she goes in she goes in the
Brotherhood,
Chinese
you're
she
not
goes in the
indigenous.
Chinese store and they start speaking Mandarin.
You have those Mongolian slits in your eyes. Your eyes are kind of chinky and close to the edges. And why are you like that? And uh, I'm calling you up and Fiber, you really do have the Mongolian eyes.
Yeah, yeah. But I wanted to really talk about this thing with the comment about the Matinecock. I mean, about the powwow from this particular person, because if you saw the people in that powwow, how are you going to make a general statement and say, all of these white Indians out there now? You, Fiber, Matinacox and
I
Shinnecox.
know everybody.
Yeah. I mean, and the other tribes that were out there. Um, were those people white?
No.
Reggie was there. Chief Reggie. Does he look white?
No, far from it.
I mean,
Oh my
what are they
God.
talking about? Are you serious?
They
Oh,
just had tunnel vision,
yeah,
they honed into one poor little group and
exactly.
and and was crucifying them based on skin texture.
Yeah, and here's another comment um, from that same comment section. Um, it said, it said, give me 1 second. Okay, this person says, at the Red Road East. Oh wait, no, this is someone else. This is someone else. Let me pull up the other comment. Hold on. Yeah, someone else said, someone is co-signing on that comment, and they said, right, this is Siberian Caucasus culture. Our people have lost their way, believing in those Afro-Eurasians.
Okay, can I ask a person something? So what is the real way? Do you know the real way? Because we've been practicing this way for thousands and thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your interpretation of the real way?
That was my question. I'm like, okay, so you're saying this
What
is
is
not
it?
our culture. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then what is?
And
Okay,
where is that group that's still practicing it?
yeah,
Where are they?
you know, um, then
Why did
another
it die
person,
out
yeah, then
and
another
the
person,
others survive?
another person says here, um, oh, this is the same person. Then, I responded. Let me see here. They said, hold on. Let me pull up the other one.
Uh, I want to know, where are those people now? Are there any drawings, cave drawings, any remnants of the ancient music? You know,
Then another person says, I question all this so called music. Our people sang in harmony, not in unison with this alien rhythmic beat. Fact. And they put it in exclamation points.
Okay, where
They
is
put an, I'm sorry, they put an exclamation mark. Okay.
where is the descendants of these people? I mean, somebody should have some family history recorded. You know, I mean, we have history recorded. We have written, drawn, and oral history. Where is all of this ancient civilization that they're speaking of, and the cultures and the music, and where is it? I mean, we're here to learn as well as teach.
That was my question.
You know,
Okay.
where are the instruments? Have any archaeologists dug up any of this equipment? And if so, what did they do with it? You know, why was ours still here? You know, I mean, did they think hundreds of years ago, okay, we're gonna hide this ancient history, but we're gonna promote another? You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense.
Well, they'll tell you that um, our culture is hip hop and foolishness like that. You know, hip hop is not a culture. Hip hop is a subculture,
A subculture,
not a
if
culture.
that,
You
you know,
know,
respectfully, if that, you know.
you know, it's
You can't compare an art form to an actual people's different cultures.
yeah,
You know,
you know,
to me, hip hop is an art form that has spread from country to country. You know, you have your own lingo and things like that, but so far it's not in the history book. So far, it doesn't have villages. You know, so
mm-hmm,
far hip hop doesn't have land base where it's a thriving community. You know, and that
mm-hmm,
doesn't take away anything. Hip hop is beautiful, but how
exactly,
can you compare it to people's cultures? You know,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I heard one fool said, you know, that's not our beat. Our beat is the heartbeat. It goes boom bap.
boom
Okay.
back, boom. My
All right, now
does your heart
I hear.
boom back?
Check this out. So I've got a stethoscope. Okay, right here. Here's a stethoscope. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh God, this is hilarious.
Hold
Oh
on.
my God. Boom
Hold
back,
on.
boom back. Uh, you can't make this stuff up.
Okay. And hold on, let me get the.
Boom back, huh?
Hold on. Hold on.
Uh,
Can't put it on my head because of the fizz. I have yet to hear a boom or a doggone bap.
well, that's my concern. Once your heart's going back, I'll be calling 911 for you.
I have. You saw how long I was just waiting there, and I hadn't heard a boom bap. You know, I mean, people just regurgitate. As I say, if you've heard one person say something from this community, you've heard they all say the same thing. because
Boom,
it's
bap,
all coming
bap,
from the
bap.
same
Sounds like
source.
some kind of song.
Yeah,
Maybe that should go under the category of hip hop. Boom, bap, 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 bap.
you know,
You know,
it's
in the
like
old
what
days they were
part?
scatting and jazz. You know, maybe it should go into jazz category. I don't know, but you can't make this stuff up,
You can't
folks.
make this stuff up. Now I guarantee you, you put on a stethoscope, you're not gonna hear a boom, bap.
Bap, 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 boom, 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 boom,
People,
boom, 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 bap, 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 bap. Bap, 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 bap. I mean, I'm as old as dust, and if my heart starts going back, please help me. Please. 911, please. Because I'm going back, back, back. Back, back, back. You know, so I wonder where the ancient boom bap back instruments are, you know? I mean, did you play it like a paddle? Remember the ball in the paddle? Don't mind me. I'm silly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
KRS-One.
no, I'm KRS-2.
Down with the sound called PvP.
You know, I can see them dancing on that too, right?
Oh man, you can't make this stuff up.
You know.
Then in the comment section, wait, oh yeah, here we go. Somebody chimed in, and let's see.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because one of the people got called a fool. That same person got called a fool by somebody else in the comment section. They say, "Thank you for
whatever he was smoking, maybe.
It says, thank you for calling me a fool. However, I did a higher degree in ethnomusicology, the findings of which astounded me of the cover up as to the authentic music of the indigenous Indians."
Please tell him to bring it forth. And I mean, I'm
Exactly.
I'm willing to learn. You know,
Yeah.
I'm willing to learn. You know, this music contribution to our people. You know.
Yeah. Then
Really.
somebody says somebody asked somebody in the comment section asked and said, again, well, say the same thing you said. Where's the proof?
Yeah. And what are you smoking?
Then somebody else commented, they said, church is the proof. The Holy Ghost is proof. We are the only race in America that catches the Holy Ghost. Our powwow is church, especially in the South. Baptist holiness. These are where the real copper Indians are. Gullah Geechee in the South is Indian.
Okay, but where's the boom bap?
Right, where's the boom bap?
Where's the boom bap?
Right, and you know, when you talk about church, you talk about hip hop, and you talk about all these things. These people are confusing Indian survivals with the actual traditions itself. You know, we have survivals of Indian traditions in these things that we do today. Okay. But you can't say that that is the actual practice specifically. They're survivals.
Just to
Do you
win an
agree,
argument, just to win an argument, that person, if he's listening, he should bring that boom bat instrument to the forefront and what colleges of music studies did he go to that can back him up? You know, because
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure this one out. You know, it sounds like he was on some serious funkadelic type of feeling there. You
Give
know,
me what you smoking. Give me some of that.
I'm telling you, I mean, I don't smoke, but a contact high for something like that,
You know, I don't smoke
maybe it'll
anymore
open up
either.
my horizons and I'll hear a boom bat. But other than that,
I don't smoke anymore either. But you know, I mean, with that stuff that he's saying, I might have to rethink it. You know,
you know,
you know.
I've never even heard anyone that's done Vision Quest coming back and said they encountered the boom bat. You know, don't get me started. You know, don't get me, don't get me started. You know,
Uh-huh.
Vision Quest peyote and ceremony. I'm all down. You know, that's part of our way for many of us.
Mm-hmm.
No, but no boom bat has been incorporated in that. You know, so he has what they say. I'm from Missouri. You got to show me.
Yeah. You know. Then another person said, you know, that singing there, is not our singing. That's what they call Siberian throat singing.
Since I got since they say I have the Mongolian eyes and Siberian eyes, you know, ridiculous. Oh my God. All right. So where's the throat singers at?
Siberian throat singers. First of all, the chants that you see us doing in the powwows and stuff like that, those are what you call vocables. Okay, it is not the same as
Vocables.
Siberian throat singing. Okay, it's not. Okay, they call them vocables. You know.
Vocables. Yes.
Hmm. And you know, again, this is what happens when you just regurgitate things that you hear um other people say. You know.
Not only that, but who came up with the original story? You know, I want to know who was the first one to put that rumor out there. You know,
Yeah. You know.
and what was he on? You know,
Yeah, I'm not gonna call, names and stuff like that. I'm just, I know where these things come from. My point is not to attack anyone. My thing is to put the correct information when
no,
people
you're not
come to me.
attacking. You're just correcting falsities. You know,
Right. Only because it trickles over into our pages when
right?
all of these people
Exactly.
are on the outside looking in. We're on the inside looking
We're
out.
out, right? I don't
You
even
know.
want to look out anymore. You
Yeah.
know, that's how bad. No, I don't want to look out anymore. It's really bad out there. I mean, all of this making up and adding and leaving out when it's convenient, it's just ugly.
Yeah.
Stephen Starr says we're the Aboriginal Indians using rhymes and chants to keep their oral traditions. Their oral or our oral, Stephen? Making it up as you go.
Yeah.
And the sad part about it, the
Mhm.
ones that are adding a lot of history or making it sensationalism, they're making a lot of money doing this.
Mm,
So I
mm,
don't
mm,
think they're
mm.
going to stop anytime soon. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, again, these things that we do, I talk about these things in my book. These are what you call um, survivals. You know, they're survivals. The rhyming, the call and response, and all that. These are survivals from our traditions and things of that nature. Um, you know, that's what they are. Um, and I talk about it pretty extensively in my book. You know, um, so yeah, but it's different. When you say um, that these traditions today, to the letter and to the T, um, are the traditions of our forebears. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it's not correct, there's elements in there, you know, of things that our forebears did. They're elements,
You
they're,
know,
they're retentions.
yes. I mean, we have added things in our cultural experiences, say like in powwows, there have been newer categories of dance like fancy and women's shawl and
Hmm.
that type of thing. But that's a powwow setting, you know. It's like you you
Right, right.
you keep art forms going, but they have become traditions. You know, it's not
Hmm.
just made up. You know, and
Exactly.
people confuse the two.
Exactly. I'm gonna try to show something. Um, I'm gonna try to show something on the screen. Give me 1 second. You can talk as I'm trying to hook this up.
You know, you know, I just would like to see where they're getting their information. Siberian throat singing, and I'm waiting for that one. That's you know. I mean, I could be wrong, but Missouri is in the house right now. You got to show me, you know, and then I can apologize. But as old as I am, and before I was born, and before my mom or my grandmother, we were doing pretty much the same. I will say, women couldn't, when my grandmother was young, the women couldn't dance in the circle. Children couldn't dance in a circle, but it also depending on whose gathering it was as well. Nothing's always clear across the board, you know. So that is a custom that came about where my grandmother was from. You know, powwows were not from out west; they were from the East Coast.
That's right.
You know,
That's
and
right.
this holy man was called a powwow, or
That's right.
or at those powwows, the holy man, those meetings were very spiritual, or they were to call a war, or celebrate a life. The people out west, that's not even their word. Their
Exactly.
word is POWWOW. Ours was PAUYOU. Pow wow. WAU. Pow wow.
Mm-hmm.
Paw wah. Paw wah.
Pawa.
Paw wah. You know, and
That's true.
you know, customs change within the community, not outside of the community, telling us what we did and we didn't do. And, these are the people that are really controlling so much of the history now being thrown out there on the internet and getting it wrong. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you talking about it if you're not going to participate, and really get to know? One of the first rules is honoring the four colors of men: red, white, black, and yellow. where we're supposed to welcome all people, not discriminate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being done. I mean, people do it within the culture, and they're doing it outside of the culture, but at least come in the culture and change your views, and don't just make money off of a topic, a trend. It's become a trend for so many people.
Yeah, a trend. Exactly.
You have to live your life. I've been in it all my life before I was born. And it's just not right. You know, you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to contribute. You're going to take away. You're going to bring more hate. It's enough hate going on within the communities because a lot of people are afraid of so many people being indigenous or aboriginal, and they feel they shouldn't be. But at least if you're going to fight them, come in the circle, you know. Don't be
Exactly.
an outside dictating what is Indian or what is not Indian or whatever.
Right.
It's just not right.
Yeah, you
That's
can't be
like,
on the outside and then trying to be an authority, and
yes,
you have
authority.
no, you don't even have a foot in the soil.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's happening. It's like your family member comes on your job and tells you how to do your job. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's a good.
How
That's a
you
right.
should spend
That's a
your
good way of
money.
putting it.
How you should spend your money. What days you should have off.
Yeah.
It's resentful.
Mm-hmm.
They are the same, but come from different parts of the world. Native Americans being from Siberia area, correct?
That's in regard to the throat singing, the
Well,
Siberian throat singing. No, it's
he's
not the
basically
same.
asking Siberians, Native Americans.
No, that's it was in regard to the throat singing.
He says they are the same, but come from different parts of the world with a question mark. Native Americans being from Siberia area, another question mark, correct?
It's regard to the throat singing is what I'm telling you.
Mm.
No, it's not the same. Um, the throat singing is Siberian throat singing is just random screams and yells. Okay. The vocables in the powwow songs is not. And I think you can speak to that as well, Firebird.
Yeah, basically another term for vocables or chants.
Mm-hmm.
You're chanting. You're not singing uh, words, but you're chanting, and those are called vocables.
Exactly. I'm gonna try to give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to pull something up. Don't let that theme go. I'm gonna pull something up here. Give me a second.
Mm-mm.
Let me see if I could send this to myself in email. Um,
Mm-mm. Fierce, we should do a song on the drum called Boom Bap.
yeah, make that one of the powwow songs, right?
Boom bap 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 boom 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 bap bap
Yeah.
bap 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 bap. It might work.
Oh
I'm
my
so silly.
goodness. Let's see.
Mm-mm.
try to send this. Let's see something. Let me see if I can put it. I may have to turn the screen
Okay, do
of the.
whatever. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere
I may have to turn the
unless my
screen
yeah,
of
unless
the
my heart gives out with the
laptop
boombox.
to the computer so that
You
because I
missed
think
my joke.
because the file might be too large
Oh, okay.
to try to send it via email. That's just giving me that problem. So give me 1 second. Let's see here.
Mm-mm.
1 second. Because the best way to illustrate something is to actually show it.
Exactly.
Um, let's see if I can make this a full screen. Okay. I'm going to move my camera. Let's see. Okay. I may have to turn it around actually. Let me see. How do you reverse? Let me see how I do this. Okay, I may have to turn the camera. Wait, hold on. See, I'm still learning this technology. So y'all just have to bear with me. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna turn this around. And I'm gonna make this just one screen. I'm gonna take, let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna change the layout. Okay, just for now. Okay, let me see here. Here, put this down. Yeah, I have to do this the crude way. All right, so I'm gonna play this video. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Hold on, that's the wrong one. Bear with me. It'll be here in a couple of seconds.
Take your time. know this. I know this. I see me.
From the Northern Cheyenne and Pony people. Also one of the lead singers of the drum group Untitled. What's important to me and my people is sharing the culture, sharing the knowledge of what of our whole background. I'm originally from West Spearfish, South Dakota, which is a very rural community in South Dakota, about a couple miles west of Rapid City. And I grew up there for 13 years, and then I moved to New York when I was just turning 14 years old, and I'm 29 now. And when I came from there to New York City, I brought with me a whole abundance of culture and I guess cultural wealth, one would say, language and everything like that. I've sang in drum groups my whole life since I was about 4 years old until now.
Okay. Let me change
I
this.
remember those days.
Yeah. So that is.
I kind of look the same.
You can see myself and Firebird, you know, and that was our group, you know, my cousin Red Sage, you know, your ex, and you know, if you listen to the music and the singing, it's not the same as Siberian throat singing. Okay, Siberian throat singing, you know, they're just you know, just
a real big difference, right?
emotions, you know, and screams and you know, just yelling. You know, it's nothing. What's the word I want to use? Melodic about it.
Yes,
You know, would you agree,
exactly.
Firebird?
Huh?
Would you agree?
I agree, wholehearted, 200%.
You know,
We don't sound like
talk a little bit about the singing of Firebird.
huh?
School the audience
Oh, that
about the
was
different
Southern.
styles of singing, and you know, since people think that you know I'm making this stuff up, I'm letting it you know come from my godmother. Okay, again, you guys are on the outside looking in. Okay, um, go ahead, Firebird.
Oh, that was Southern style singing, which is lower melodic type of singing that a lot of tribes do. Northern is high falsetto singing, very high pitch, but very melodic as well. And they play both at powwows. They may have a group or a few southern groups and a few northern groups playing, to make the powwow exciting. You know, um, both can be very high, energetic. It's just that southern is like, well, that's more of the northern style. You see the difference? But those are two of the basic types of playing at powwows. Then they have Algonquin music and Iroquois music, traditional. Some groups play with water drums. Some people play with hand drums. We mix it up, but we're definitely not Siberian throat singers. Even northern, we're very melodic, which is my favorite style of singing, very high pitch. But we don't sound like we had an accident and we had to get to the bathroom real fast. Or get around, get down. Don't get me to. Don't.
When I first heard that comment, I lost it. I was on the floor. It's Siberian.
And when you told me, I'm like, wow. I mean, the human mind is a magnificent thing. Rick James said cocaine is a powerful thing.
I remember when
the human mind is a powerful thing. I mean,
I remember when I first told you about that comment.
I'm like, wow. Just sit back, have a smoke, and or whatever you do, and come up with these ideas and these thoughts and these philosophies and these new cultural ideas. It's just, I can't even begin to tell you. It's just like, Siberian throat. Okay. All right.
Oh man.
It's okay. Yeah. Creator will still bless you,
I think that comment there, man, that takes the cake. That takes
it just showed me how the mind can just think of anything, and it almost seems like the person actually believes it, so it becomes a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
I know. So yeah, these are things that we hear coming from,
street corner scholars,
street corner scholarship, or I hear things like, the Moors are North Africans, and blah, 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 blah. And, again, Moors were all over. You can't relegate Moors to just North Africa. If you say that, then, you don't know the history. You only know the history of one type of Moor. Okay. Or they say that Moors are responsible for our demise. They're traitors and things. I know we left somebody hanging here. Before I get into that, I think the brother wanted to clarify what he was saying. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Let's see here. So he's saying,
did you say someone was all the same?
He said, I meant as far as a people, because you were saying they are all the same. What I'm saying is that I think I think this is what he's trying to uh, ask. When what I was saying was basically that the what you call um, the Moors were all over. The Moors were not just in
Mm-mm.
Africa, and they're not. You had different groups of Moors. You know,
Yeah, they were in Iberia, they were Sicily, Maghreb, so many different countries,
you
you
know,
know.
you had Moors in North Africa. You had Moors in West Africa. You know, you had Moors over in the Pacific Islands. You had Moors here in the Americas. You had Moors all over. You know,
Can you
so
tell them a little bit about the Delaware Moors?
I already dealt with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can. Uh, they can, if they want to get that information. I already said in the beginning I'm not gonna go back over the stuff that was covered. They could look at the previous lectures for that because
Yeah,
I,
well,
I like.
I missed your lecture on that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, they can get that. They can get that in the
Okay.
previous because I want to stick with the topic at hand for time's sake. Um, because I have things that I need to cover. Um, so yeah, so there's different groups of Moors, you know, and again, like I said, for those who didn't catch the live last night, um, as I was saying, you know, these, if you want more information on that, Riley, you can go and look at the lecture series that I did um, on the Empire Strikes Black, and I go pretty in depth on that.
Mhm.
Um, but I like to when I do presentations, I like to present new information. I don't like to go over the same stuff that I covered before. You know, I like to present new information. So we're going to move forward. And if you want to, get further clarity, just go back over those over there. I did a series called The Empire Strikes Black. And in that series, I did one lecture called The Lineage of the Aboriginal Movement. Then I did the a follow-up series. That was part one of that series, was the lineage of the Aboriginal movement, and um, part two, I did Moors and Indians, friends or enemies, and I discontinued doing the Moors and Indians, friends or enemies, because a lot of people didn't seem like they were interested in the topic. So I discontinued. Now I'm getting more people interested. So, I'm, continuing on, and again, I see people are giving the thumbs up. So that's encouraging, because I mean, it can get discouraging if nobody seems like they're interested, and then nobody's even liking. I just say, hey, the hell with it, I'll just sit on the information. I
Seems
have
like a lot of these groups get more followers by cursing all the way through a presentation to the point where all you hear is curse words. You don't hear any lessons being taught.
Yeah, I know you were telling me about that the other
Oh my
day.
God. I mean, I had to, grin and bear it just to hear the speaker, speak,
Yeah,
because the host was cursing and cutting up and stopping the video just to curse. And, it was very disheartening. But a lot of these people end up having thousands and thousands of followers, and not even teaching correctly. It's just, so
Yeah.
please support Fierce Truth Speaker. You won't, we joke a little bit. He jokes a little bit, but he's hard hitting on the information. He's been doing this like 30 years plus. I mean, he was a puppy when he started doing this,
Mm,
and I was hanging in there with him, but he's a serious young man with lots to teach, so please support his channel. Please pass the word, and try to get some of the young people over to his channel. I mean, okay, it's fun to curse sometimes, I guess, but what are you learning?
mm,
What are you understanding? Can you go back and talk and speak to your teachers or your professors with your knowledge? You
mm.
know, or it's just a trend, something to discuss. And here, this young man, fierce truth seeker, is actually trying to educate, on a university level. So, please support and spread the word.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, she's right, been doing this 30 plus years, Um, and I don't get, I even though I don't get, the big numbers in terms of viewership, it's better to have quality than quantity, you
Yeah.
know. And I will continue to put out quality, you know.
Mhm.
Um, with that being said, um, so we want to talk about if Moors are in fact the enemy. Um, and I said that it's very, um, it's very disingenuous just to single out Moors based on what one particular group of Moors did, because that's like saying, okay, well, um, I'm a Caucasian. God damn it, a bunch of niggers!
Yeah.
They robbed my daughter. All them niggers, goddamn niggers. That's all they do. They don't work. They're good for nothing. They just sit back and they collect welfare. Goddamn niggers.
You
You know
just
what I'm
got a
saying?
million
See one
viewers.
on the street, I'm gonna blow a hole in the head. Okay? They good for nothing. They're lazy. They don't work. I mean, that's all they do. That hippity hop music. You know,
Put it in back.
all they do. Sit back and eat chitlins and hog mogs. If I was to have any nigger try to come to my company, try to get a job, turn them right
you,
away.
you just got a million viewers. You just got a million viewers.
They're good for nothing. All of them live in the projects. They don't go to school. They don't work. They just lazy.
Or they play that boom bap music.
Yeah. And they listen to that boom bap.
You gotta laugh because truth is stranger than fiction.
So
It's
now,
funnier than fiction. You got a million viewers.
if you were to
Hey,
generalize,
Pierce, there you go. Now you can buy a mansion.
so now if you were to, if somebody was to generalize about all of those of us of a darker hue and say
Yeah.
that we're all thieves, don't go to school, collect welfare. We stick up people, you know, good for nothing, you know,
All on drugs.
all on drugs, and alcohol, and,
Mm-hmm.
eat chitlins and
Beat their
hog
mamas.
mogs,
Beat their
you know.
mamas.
Would it be fair
Mm-mm.
to generalize each and every one of us based on what a few people did in the hood, a crime committed? Would that be fair, Firebird?
No, it wouldn't. And
It
they're
wouldn't.
white hoods as well, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
You
You
know?
know, I personally, I don't eat chitlins. I never like chitlins.
No.
Hog mogs, you
Hog
know.
mogs and chitlins. Remember that song? Bang, bang, beep, beep. Let me throw the boom bat in there. Bang, bang, beep, beep. Yeah.
You know, I mean, um, and I mean, that's not to say that, growing up, I didn't eat pork or bacon, or ham, but I never liked chitlins. I never
Well,
liked,
we had to eat what our parents supplied, right?
mm-hmm. I never liked chitlins. The smell alone just turned
Well,
me
you
off.
know why that is. And instead
Yeah.
of a C, it should be an S in front, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. You got that right. Not
That's
chitlins, but
exactly what it is. I could tell you some stories about that.
that was never cooked in our house.
Yeah. But in my friend's houses, oh boy.
Oh yeah. Now, that's not to say that family members didn't make it.
I mean, straight from the farm with nothing removed at first, and then in the kitchen trying to get all of that. You know what? Out.
Yeah.
That,
I got
oh,
family who made it. But me
yeah.
personally, I never. You know, so to say that so for somebody to come to me and put some chitlins on my plate, and collard greens. I like collard greens though. You
I
know,
love collard greens.
um,
So good for you.
fried chicken. You know, um, or whatever. I don't really do fried food. I do. I bake. Um, when I do eat, when I do eat cooked food, I like my stuff baked. You know. Um, so anyway, that's what we're saying. Generalizations. Okay, it's important not to generalize because um, I could say, well, Indians enslaved us. Okay, I could say Indians are responsible for enslaving our people. I can make that blanket statement. Okay, just as well. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
We're talking generalizations. Okay, they enslaved us just like the Caucasian did. Okay, um, Indians even enslaved Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even make me have to pull the documents, okay? Because there were laws that forbade Indians for the purchase of Caucasians or what they call Christians
Mm-hmm.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Indians participated in slavery of
Mm-hmm.
both high melanated people and Caucasians. The same thing that you blame the Moors for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so would it be fair to say all Indians participated in that? Okay, um, like I said yesterday, I could say um, all Indians are homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can pull up Continue. Let's continue from where we left off yesterday. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share the screen.
Cobra Assassin says at American Research News Channel Islam.
Yeah, I put the comment up there to
Oh, okay.
show him some love.
All right.
Islam Noble.
Hi, Cobra Assassin.
So let me pull up this here. Let me see. I'm going to share screen. Hold on. It gets good. It gets really good. It's about to get really good. Give me 1 second. I'll be right with you. You could talk in the meantime, Firebird.
Oh, I'm still flowing on boom bat, you know. My brain. Right. Can you see the crickets? I'm speechless, you know. Oh my God. Make it up as you go.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody is generous enough and wants to leave a donation, there's a link here where you can leave a donation. Anyway, let me find these documents here. I will be with y'all in just a second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, y'all want to talk about Moors, but let's see. And I am not trying to put down any particular groups of people, and I'm not trying to put down anyone's sexual orientation or anything like that. Okay, this is only to make a point about generalizations. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen right now. Firebird, you may want to close your eyes.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so these are pre-Columbian images, ceramics. Okay, and so this is pre-Columbian. These are artifacts. Okay, and this is not pornography. This is artifacts that were found. Okay, and this is from the Moshe culture. Okay, now this is, some say, well, some people still feel that this is a phenomenon that happened after contact with the Europeans. Okay, and I'm going to show you that it was not. Okay, all right, this is a large Moshe erotic figure from Peru. Okay, 400 to 700 AD. Okay, second. All right, here's another one, the Moshe. Okay. Okay, here's two men getting it on. All right. Again, I'm not downing anyone's sexual orientation. I'm I'm just saying, if you're gonna say Moors of these things, then you need to look in the mirror. Okay, look in the mirror. Okay, I have no problem with anyone's sexual orientation. I've got those type of people in my family, and I love them dearly. Okay, um, and I would never make fun of anyone based on that. I'm just showing that um, the all of the things that people accuse Moors of, American Indians have done too. Okay, and realistically, um, again, Moor is not exclusive to Africa. Okay, because I showed you, if you go back and you look at the lecture series, I showed you where Moor originated with the American Indian. I showed you that. Okay, um, from way back in ancient time. Okay, and I showed you where um, a lot of the place names that they say was over in the east. I showed you that a lot of that stuff was happening right here. Okay, a lot of things that they attributed to the east was actually the west. Okay, um, because we are in the old world. Okay, if you study the folklore of the various tribes, they tell you that civilization has started here. Okay, and then we branched out. Okay, everything always jumps off here. If you notice, you go all around. Okay, see, a lot of you've never even stepped out of the country. Okay, I lived in Africa. Okay, I've been to Europe in the British Museum. Okay, doing research. All right, and some of you have never stepped outside of your neighborhood. Okay, and I can tell you, all over the world, everybody looks to the west to see what's going on. Okay, they look and emulate everything that we do, and that is nothing that just happened yesterday. Okay, stuff. This was always the center. All right, people will always come here to the grandmother land. Okay, for knowledge, for initiation, you know, and things like that. You know, it was always popping off here. We had more wealth in terms of gold and stuff like that over here than anywhere on the planet. Okay, so I don't know why it's so hard to get into the thick skulls of some of these people to understand that see, all of this stuff. I'm going to be totally honest with you. A lot of this stuff, people say they're not African, this, that, and the other, but a lot of the ideologies that's coming out of this, what they call Aboriginal movement today, actually comes out of Pan-Africanism. Okay, a lot of the attitudes towards Moors, guess where it comes from? Pan-Africanism. And I can show you where all of that stuff comes out of Pan-African ideology. Okay, so anybody who is against Moors is a Pan-Africanist. Okay, I got the receipts to show it. Okay, and that's just the reality of it. Because again, Moor is not exclusive to Africa. Okay, if that be the case, then why is it that so a lot of people say, well, okay, they have to they have a problem with when people say this is Morocco. Okay, and I showed you in the, I'm not going to go back into that, but I did show in previous videos that that was an indigenous term, okay, that the indigenous people used. All right. And so there was even Indians um, named Morocco, okay, who are not African at all. Okay. So, um, they, and again, they accuse Moors of being Freemasons and this, that, and the other. Okay. I showed yesterday um, the book dealing with American Indians and Freemasonry. So let me continue showing that. So I go to powwows, I see a whole bunch of Freemasons up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You obviously haven't been to a powwow.
Mm-hmm.
See, I know what to look for. Okay, I'm gonna go and give me 1 second. Let me look in here, pull up this book. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, I'll be right with you. Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody is there's a comment here before I pull up the document. Let me put this comment up. Yes. Um American Research News Channel. Yes. Um Make the New Zealand Moriori and Amerindians connection. I am very
Well,
familiar.
they
I
they
got yesterday.
they have connected many
Yeah,
times.
I showed these files yesterday of all the files I have on the Moor and Indian connections.
Yeah,
Okay, I
they
have
even
those.
have powwows over there.
Yeah, I have that information right here in the files. Trust me, it's all on the agenda. Like I said, I stopped doing this lecture series because a lot of people were not interested. That's right in here. I've been had that information in here, you know. But it's too much for me to. I know you say it's time to make that connection, but there's other connections that's even better than that. Um,
They have connected for their information. You know.
you want to talk about that while I'm
No, I'm just saying there have been powwows and fellowshipping from one culture to the next. You know,
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up this document. Give me a second. You could continue talking.
they even have powwows in Puerto Rico. You know, we have connected many times with each other. You know, we come together at the United Nations People's Indigenous Forum. People meet. My tribe has a treaty with the king of Polynesia. So we are connecting as much as possible.
Be right with you.
American Research News Channel. That sounds very interesting.
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up these files. Okay, got it. Share screen.
Mm-mm.
Share screen. Share screen. Okay, let me get the file. It's right here. Window. File. Share. Okay, here we go. Knights of the Golden Circle. Okay, this is what I was reading from yesterday, or well, earlier this morning, should I say?
Mm-mm.
Right. Let me scroll down to where I left off at. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me find where I left off at. Okay, I think I left off on 5. Scroll up.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. The lesson taught by the three great lights. Okay. The first American Indian commissioner of Indian Affairs under Grant, leaders on both sides of the Civil War in the Indian Territory, including John Ross. I gotta look on the screen because my eyes, oh my goodness. Oh, well, let me see. I can make the font bigger. Hold on. Let's see. How can I make the font bigger? Oh, wait. Can I? Let me see. Um, yeah, let me look on the other computer on smaller on there. Um, I'm gonna have to come closer to the screen. Uh, including John Ross, Apathy, Yahola, Elias Boudinot, John Jumper, Peter Pitchlin, Stan Watty, the last Confederate general
Yeah.
to surrender, coming forward into history, we find Carlos Montezuma, doctor and spokesman for the Yavapai Indian, Arthur C. Parker, scientist, scholar, and literary figure from the Seneca Nation, Philip de Lorna,
Mm-mm.
de Loria, Sioux leader and Episcopal priest, and last but certainly not least, Will Rogers,
Mm-mm.
American humorist and philanthropist. Um, through many of these names, though many of these names may not be familiar to you, they
Mm-mm.
can be considered among the Illuminati of the First Nations of the United States. Oh, oh, oh! I think I should read that again. I think I should read that again.
Mm-mm.
Oh, let me read that again. Hold on. Oh, man. Woo. Let me read that again. Woo.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Mm-mm.
Mm, mm. Though many of these names may not be familiar to you, they can be considered among the Illuminati
The
of the First
Illuminati.
Nations of the United States.
Mm-mm-mm.
Wait a minute. Hold on. These Moorish names? Wait. These Moorish names may not be familiar to you. These Moorish names may not be familiar to you. No, these American Indian names may not be familiar to you. But they accuse Moors of being Freemasons. Now, Firebird, you're my guest. They're not gonna believe me, Firebird. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you. How influential were those personages whom were just named in that article?
Oh, uh, uh, very, very much so. In the Cherokee Nation and the Civil War, Wadey was for the South, and Ross was for the Union, and the Cherokee Nation became divided. So a lot of people don't know that Cherokees actually fought in the war, but they did, and it was over land and slaves. Some Cherokees wanted slavery and to support the Confederate Union because a lot of Cherokees had slaves. They imitated the whites. So these names are very, very important in our Indian history, major factors in the Civil War and leadership. So yes, they are very, very, very important names, influential names.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
Big time.
Okay. Um, the story of the first American Indian Freemasonic lodges has yet another interesting aspect. J. Fred Lathan, in The Story of Oklahoma Masonry, reports that not only were native chiefs made Masons in the East, but that because both the Native American leaders and the military officers who removed them during the Trail of Tears were Masons,
Yep.
it made the process of removal more orderly. 10. General William Winfield Scott, a Freemason who presided over the removal of the Cherokee, gave explicit orders to
Freemason
pursue
Indian, American Indian.
the, pardon me, it's my eyes, the distasteful activity with civility. Every possible kindness must therefore
What famous
be shown
Indian
by the troops, and if in the ranks a despicable individual should be found capable of hard having a hard time seeing these words, capable of inflicting a wanton inquiry or insult on any Cherokee man, woman, or child, it is hereby made the special duty of the nearest good officer or man instantly to interpose and to seize and consign the guilty wretch to the severest penalty of the laws. When asked by the leaders of the Cherokee Nation to postpone removal because of drought, and sickening as among the Cherokee, General Scott again showed compassion for his fraternal brothers. Negotiating with General Scott was Chief John Ross, a master mason in good standing with the Olive Branch Lodge of the Native American Freemasons. Wait. No, I think I read that wrong. I think I read that wrong. Okay, let me read it again. General Scott showed compassion for his fraternal brothers. Negotiating with General Scott was Grand Sheik Sharif John Chief Rahim, or Grand Sheik Talib, or no. Wait a minute, I think I made a mistake. Grand Sheik Il Bey. No, Chief John Ross.
Chief John Ross,
A master mason in good standing with the olive branch of the free and of the free and accepted Masons in Jasper, Tennessee. And I ain't even got started with this yet. A great majority of those chiefs who sold us out were in fact Freemasons.
Freemasons, yeah.
Indians. Okay. Now what some people are saying is that they're saying things like, let me see here. Hold on, let me not misquote. Give me 1 second. And I definitely don't want to let this go. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Just want to find a comment. I'll be right with you. Okay. So give me 1 second. I don't want to misquote. Give me 1 second. You can talk in the meantime, Firebird. Just give me a second. Are you there?
Joseph Brant was also a Freemason.
Yep, I talked about him last night.
Oh, yeah, you did?
Mm-hmm. See, so y'all see in YouTube land, I'm not the only one who knows this.
I mean, there was a whole society of American Indian Freemasons.
That's right. And I got the documentation to show that Freemasonry started over here first. I told you I come with receipts. So okay, here is a comment, and I'm not going to call any names, I just wanted to bring this up because it is a good point. It is a good point. And it's good to put this in perspective because I'm pretty sure other people have the same concern. Um, so it says here in regards to the live that I did last night, it says here the chiefs who sold the people out were selling out to Moors. Okay. So now, but now to say that, I mean, so that makes the Chiefs good.
Exactly.
I mean, that's that to me. That's like an intellectual, what they call an intellectual somersault. Okay, that's no excuse. You know, that's like
Exactly.
saying, okay, well, you know, there's some guys getting ready to rob a bank. Okay, um, you know, and they asked me to join in and help them out. Okay, when the cops come, are they gonna ask me and you, Firebird? Um, you think that I can say that me and you can say, well, they're robbing the bank, but you know, they asked us to come along with them, so we're innocent. Does that make us innocent?
You know.
Man, they'll throw you under the jail. They'll
Yeah, on
probably
the
draft you under
yeah, exactly.
the jail.
Guilty by association also.
Guilty by association. And that's the whole thing. Indians were just as complicit. Okay. Um, so now, is it fair to generalize all Indians based on what these leaders did?
No.
Just the same as
Mm-mm.
it's not fair to generalize about all Moors, about what certain Moorish rulers did. Okay, and not all. Okay,
Exactly.
you know, so we have to be um, cautious of self-righteousness. Okay, um, let's talk about something else. We're gonna come back to this because it's too long. There's a lot of information. I mean, this is that whole Freeman. I mean, I got books on this stuff, so I can't go through all of it. It's too much. So I have to break it up into parts because it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, however, like I said, I get a lot of people coming to me in the comment section um, with comments, and some make, and we spoke about this too, Firebird, because a lot of people from that community like to make the distinction and say, well, we're not, those are Native Americans. We're American Indians. Okay. And I tell them that that does not distinguish you as melanated to say that you are American Indian, because when the people in the courts and people who make legislation and this, that, and the other, they don't make that distinction. That
Exactly.
is only something that the online community distinguishes
Online.
itself as. But I know from someone who's on the inside looking out, I can tell you that the people that you call Mongoloids have been calling themselves American Indians. Okay, and it's not separate. Okay, would you like to talk about that a little bit, Firebird? Those labels, the labels Indian, Native American, American Indian, whether or not the label American Indian means that you're what they call African American today.
No. Personally, I feel that the label was stuck on us by the United States government, American Indian. It had nothing to do with being American Black or anything. It just went across the board for the indigenous Aboriginal tribes. I mean, even
Hold that thought, Fiber, and I want you to, because there are some people in the comment section who may not be familiar with you. I see some new people, so introduce yourself, and what qualifies you. Who the hell are you to sit up and tell us about American Indian and this, that, and the other? You ain't part of no tribe, or you ain't, who the hell is a firebird? Did she is she a pigeon that came into the kitchen and her wings got caught in the stove and got caught on fire? Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you've been doing throughout the years and what qualifies you.
okay. Chi, aya, achilachishkwa uskalaska, chi, ani waya, chi ani anwiya, chi ani waya. I am Fiber Gray Wolf. I just introduced myself and my clan. I am a clan's mother of a nation of people. In my nation, we have 7 clans mothers, matrilineal. Originally, the clans mothers were the ones that picked the chiefs, sub chiefs, led in ceremony, so forth and so on. I have given many programs, Smithsonian affiliated programs. I have emceed. I have taught history. I have been a curator. I have been a liaison, program planner of Indigenous studies. I have led in other organizations in the past as a chief officer. I have been given some awards for my contributions of knowledge. And I was born into the culture. I'm not a start-upper. I don't take books and create my own history. I have been working with Fierce Truth Seeker on his journey of discovery of many things for 30 years plus. And that sums it up in a nutshell. I'm very well known on the East Coast, and I try to be an activist as much as possible for the African burial ground. They call me in to do the prayers for the Lenape people that were interred into the ground with the Napi Indians. People think that is African burial ground. In reality, it was a Lenape village in Lower Manhattan for the lower Lenape people. I'm Cherokee, Lenape. I have Tuscarora and Navajo on my family tree. I have spent my whole life researching and studying, and most of all, participating in the indigenous studies of Turtle Island.
Are you tribally affiliated?
Excuse me?
Are you tribally affiliated?
Yes, I'm tribally affiliated with a historical tribe. I'm here.
And what's your title? What's your title?
I'm a clan's mother, Wolf Clan clans mothers. Each clan has a different clans mother because we follow the traditional way. I'm a historian, and that sums it up in a nutshell.
Yeah, I just had
A
to ask
little
the
bit
question.
about me. I'm a past champion dancer. Um, when
Let them
women
know what
are
type
allowed
of
to
dance.
drum,
Let them
I
know what type of
drum.
dancing you do, Firebird.
My category is Eastern Blanket Dance, which is a dance that you see mostly on the East Coast. Really started by the Narragansett Nation, they say, and we do it at many powwows besides other categories. I find that to be the most elegant dance for women. You dance with a blanket and you tell a story with the blanket. It's very, very, very beautiful. So that's my choice of dance. I drum where women are allowed to drum and sing. I do many things, crafts. And like I stated, I was Indian or indigenous before I was born. I was taught um, all my life to practice the culture. And, that's what I'm doing. So that's just a little bit of my qualifications of what I speak about.
Yeah, I just wanted to, for those who are not familiar who you are, who's joined in today. That's why I had had you to interest, so they could see that this is just not some random person, you know, and I also wanted them to know that you are someone that's tribally affiliated and that you are a clan mother. Okay, so you're not just talking off of your head, you know.
No,
Um, so with that said, I so that people don't get it twisted when you talk about these terms, what we're talking about in terms of Native American, Indigenous, American Indian, blah blah blah, because people are under the misconception that they can say, oh, well, I'm not a Native American, I'm an American Indian. And that means that distinguishes those of us who they call Negro or African American, which is totally false. So you can continue to speak on that.
well, traditionally, natives didn't call themselves American Indian or Native American. We addressed each other by what tribes that we were affiliated. These terms came about from government standards, and it still goes on today, where we call each other these terms, and a lot of people are trying to come back to the old ways. On my face, you see a tattoo that symbolizes the seven clans of the Cherokee Nation. I'm Wolf Clan, and one day I'll get in and break down the different clans and what their responsibilities were. And with Fierce Truth Seeker, give you a little history on the clans
Mm-hmm.
and how they function. And, for example, Wolf Clan, my clan, they were the most arrogant, most outspoken, most fierce, largest clan originally. And I'm proud to, be a part of that history. But we'll save that for another day. I'll try to break down some of the clans for you and how they function and why they were called, like the Bird Clan or the Blue Clan or, the Potato Clan, the Long Hair Clan. We'll try to break down some of
That's
the,
mine. Yeah, my family's the long hair.
yeah, Long Hair Clan. We'll try to break down some of their history and
Keep talking. I got to take this. Keep talking.
how white society changed the function of the strength that the clans had. You know, uh, I'll try to share that with you and tell you a little bit of more of Cherokee history. My particular people, we married in with the Lenape people that we call cousins, meaning that, you know, kinship. They took us in and we became Cherokee Lenape. A lot of people don't think that Cherokee people extended to different places. Even some Cherokees are very guilty or saying that there's only two groups of Cherokee people and they are federally recognized. They're federally recognized because the government um, put certain standards ahead for them to become federally recognized. And so a lot of people are under the impression that there's only two Cherokee groups, which is the Tahlequah Western Band and the Qualla Boundary Eastern Band. Tahlequah is in Oklahoma, and the Eastern Band is still in North Carolina. You know, so we'll talk about all of that very soon and break down a little bit of the history for you on that. So thank you for listening, and he'll be back real soon. If there's any basic questions you'd like to ask me in the chat room, feel free. Let me see.
Keep talking, Firebird. I'll be there. I'll be there in a minute.
Okay, and powwow season is coming up. I don't know where everyone is located, but if you're on the East Coast, the powwows are opening up, and I would suggest that you look up New York powwows to see if you could come and visit some powwows and get to, you know, celebrate and kinship with a lot of us. Hopefully, I'll be going to one in Long Island, a very historical one, and all nations from out west, Mexico, uh, near Canada, people come and celebrate at this particular powwow. So, you know, come into the culture, come in and don't be an outsider and speaking as an expert based on what's being taught on a lot of these shows on YouTube, or, you know, like I said earlier, the cursing and screaming, and you can't really understand what the host, you know, come in and be a part and, you know, be on the inside and looking out, you know, and, you know, I feel that a lot of this is just a trend that people are flowing on. And, you know, we have much to talk about, but I'd like to one day break down a little bit about the clan structure and how it got diminished once the Europeans came into play. Um, that's very important because our clans really kept us together. One thing I can tell you, you couldn't marry within your clan. You had to marry in another clan because that would be considered as incest. So there's a lot about the clan system that I would like to teach you and, you know, help anybody out that's Cherokee that want to, or just that you might want to learn some things, you know.
Yeah. So we got a couple of comments. So with regard to the Indian Freemasons, we have a comment here that says almost all of the ones that we named were Caucasian usurpers. Okay, um, that's partially true,
That's not quite
but it's
fair to
not.
say. They
It's not
still
quite
had Cherokee blood,
right.
and we try not to demolish someone based on their blood quantum, because if you go across the board um, and deal with that, many of us have different ancestry. The most important thing is that you're practicing and keeping your culture alive. You know, um, the government is very guilty of doing things like that. One tribe, you might be 1/16th to be accepted on the rolls. Another tribe, you might be 25%. Another is 50%. And those are all forms of paper genocide. So, you know, um, you can't really be hating on people because they intermarried or they were raped or something. That's not quite fair. You know, you got to try all your best to keep the culture alive, even if you won 16th. I understand the frustration because a lot of people feel that these are the ones um, that are ruling the system, but that's not exactly true everywhere. You know, some tribes, you see everybody brown skinned. Some tribes, you see a lot of the people with curly hair, you know, Negro features. So, if you're going to start tearing it apart by phenotype, you could be into problems. There won't be any Indian groups left, you know. So I do understand how you're feeling on that question, but on the other spectrum, there are a lot of tribes that still maintain their indigenous roots and looks. So try to bear with it, and just do the best you can out there in your own space, and don't worry about them. Don't worry about the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma or North Carolina. It's very hard to even get on their rolls, and not so much due to the people themselves, but government standards as well. A lot of people think they're going to get reparations, but it's not going to happen. Let's get our land back. Let's make them pay. It's not going to happen. You know, unless you get your own tribe going, the government is not going to allow but so many Indians to have that standard, and it's purposely done because this is how they can count you. So you can't let them determine who you are. You know, you know who you are, and that's basically all that counts. They're state and federal, and there are sovereign nations out there trying to do their best. So um, we're dealing with racism on all levels, and the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma got sued. Other freemen groups are suing and winning. So it's a slow drive, but it's slowly happening. You know,
Yeah, we got
but
another. We got a question actually. Would you agree that we are aboriginal to the Americas or all lands?
who's he
Um,
asking that to you?
Riley Clay. No, he's asking Stephen Starr. Um,
Oh, okay.
but it does make for a good question.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, basically, when you talk about lineage and stuff like that, there's nothing across the board for everybody, because we all have various um, lineages, you know. Um, so what my lineage is not going to be the same as the next person, you know. Um, you may have some people um, that I know of in this community um, have a parent that comes from Africa. Some have a parent that comes from China. you know, um, everybody has different stories. You know, so um, it's more personal. It's nothing across the board. You can put your 2 cents in, Firebird, if you like.
Yeah, I agree.
My opinion.
We're really Aboriginal. Indigenous simply means the first person, people of the land. So that would be their Aboriginals, as far as I'm concerned. And we have, people say, fiber. Well, you have the Mongolian slit in your eyes, and it doesn't matter. If I could be Olmec. I
Hmm.
also could have Siberian heritage, but we have married into each other for so long. We're all indigenous people of this land. There's no thing is separating only in a mind frame. You know, if you come on the East Coast, you'll see Indians that look like they're from Siberia marrying some sister that looked like she came off of Cotton Comes to Harlem. A real soul sister look. You know, so and then the children have a blend. So you're starting to see a little bit more of that on Midwest and the Southwest. That happens, but come on over to the East Coast. You'll definitely see us all getting along together and powwowing or fellowshipping together. And that's just how it is. You know, we try not to separate as much as possible. You won't even get a second glance if somebody's married to a Siberian looking um, person and has a wife with an afro or vice versa. It's so common, you know, so very common.
Yeah. And the thing is too that, like you say, our people here in the Americas had been mixing with people
Forever.
forever. And then all of the colonists noticed that. They all said that. They reported um, quite a bit of hybridity among the tribes. You know, um, so the thing is not to get caught up in all of the blood quantum politics and stuff like that. If you have Aboriginal roots, then that's what you are. You know, Plain and simple. You know, but you know, you have some people who want to say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I don't have any other mixes and I'm just this just based on genealogy. But you don't know who all of your ancestors are just based on genealogy because it branches out too far. You know, especially when you're talking about your relatives, and family trees, and it branches out very quickly, and you can't account for all of those people. It's impossible.
Right.
So you can't say, I don't have this, or I ain't got no. Here's one thing I hear a lot of them saying, I ain't got no African in my blood. You know, you don't know that. You might
Mhm.
have some, you know, because we have a lot of ancestors, and there's no way to account for all of them. So you mean to tell
Right.
it's kind of arrogant too, kind of arrogant to believe that you know each and every one of your ancestors going back hundreds and thousands of millions and millions of years ago. It's arrogant. Let's just call it what it is. You don't know what and a lot of these people, I've heard it all over the years. I've heard a lot of people talk that mess only to find out years later they found out they have an African in their family.
You remember the Grand Dragon? They did his DNA on some shows.
Yeah.
He was KKK and found out he had African blood.
15%. He was the one talking about, he was gonna pick up arms, and kill all the niggas when they try to come in the come in the neighborhood, and he came to a black quote unquote black couple, and had his gun and was ready to kill, and blah 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 blah. He got that DNA test done and said 15% African.
Mm-hmm.
They threw him out of the clan and started burning crosses in front of his lawn.
And in the old days, like when I was a kid in the South, you were either white,
His name was Cobb. Cobb.
Cobb,
COB.
yeah, Cobb. You were either
Yeah.
white or black. They didn't say you were Italian or you were
Right.
Irish. You might have said it at home or to your friends, but oh yeah, that white man. Oh yeah, that black man. That's it was just two races, white and black. And no Italian, no Irish, no Scottish, no German.
But yeah, you can't account for all of your ancestors. That's nonsense. You know. But uh one thing that I do like about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is that he said that the blood of all nations run through the veins of the Moors. Okay, and that to me is a fair assessment, you know, and it's more realistic, you know, when you think about it. It's wise words, you know. Um, and you can go and you can do a survey. Just go around and do a survey, and you can talk to random people in our community, and they'll tell. And I know I'm a street vendor, so I know I come across many of our people on a regular basis. Okay, and our people have all kind of mixtures. All you got to do
Yes,
is talk to people, and they'll tell you. So, you know, those wise words coming from the prophet, you know, which
right, right.
definitely makes us aboriginal to here, but which also makes us inheritors of the globe, you know, as the ancient people, the most ancient people, you know. Um, so we have another comment. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Nothing against anyone, but colonizers intentionally planted their seeds to usurp. Should we be upset for finding the truth? Well, actually, no, that's true. And I talk about that in my book. Um, how they would purposefully um, take um, indigenous wives in order to inherit the land. You know, but again, see, my point is, okay, when you generalize, and when I say you, I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm talking in general. When you generalize and put a blanket statement with regards to Moors, you better look in your own backyard, okay? Because the same thing that happened over here, I can ask you the same thing about over in the East, okay? Um, Same phenomenon, you know. Um, you had a group of people that uh, uh, um, were among the Moors, you know, um, that were products of um, the harems and stuff like that, you know, and their lineage was watered down, you know, and the children, became the rulers and stuff like that, you know. So mixing, is a worldwide phenomenon, you know, and with quote unquote, white supremacy, you have the mindset, of those who are lighter, feeling a lot of times more privileged, you know, and wind up, saying, hey, I have a right to this, and I have a right to that. I have a right to your land, I'm white, you know, um, blah 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 blah, you know. Um, so, my whole point in the presentation is to show that, um, we have to look in the mirror, um, and not generalize, you know. Um, you want to weigh in on that, Firebird?
Yo, in this time of day, it's very hard to generalize because it's kind of like blaming someone for what their ancestor did. Should they not still be native? You know, should they still not practice because their grandfather was a white man or a white uh, plantation owner or slave owner? You can't punish the child for what the parent did. You know, and start to discriminate against the child. And like I said, if you come on the East Coast from southeast all the way up to northeast, midstream, you'll see all types of people practicing together. And they have, I'm not talking about the phony fake wannabe, and I'm talking about the people with the real blood, and they're practicing and they have a right to practice, you know. So that's just my view.
Mm-hmm. Um, let's see some more comments. Hard to keep up with them. Um, I may not be able to get to all of them. Let me see. Um, Here's another comment. Um, yeah, someone is saying, as soon as somebody say that they don't know their ancestors past their grandparents or great grandparents, that can't say they're 100% anything. Yeah, and that's true. You know, if you can't go past your great grandparents, then you can't say you're 100% anything. You know, at that point it just becomes a belief system.
And it's your spirit that calls you, your genetic makeup that helps you honor your indigenous heritage.
Hmm.
Mostly everyone I talk about said the spirit just drove me, and that's actually the ancestors calling you back home.
Exactly.
We're their voice. Their voices were stopped, and the Creator just put it out there um, for the descendants to come back home through genetic calling. So you have to be careful of insulting anyone and try to honor everyone. And even if you feel they're phony, you have to kind of, unless you can 100% prove it, like I say, if you catch them that, oh, a few weeks ago that person was white, Italian, and nothing else, then otherwise you have to be very careful. Um, I know a young man said he went back to the reservation because he doesn't have to doubt who he is like some of the people on the East Coast. And
Mm,
like, what kind of nonsense is that?
mm,
Everyone on my res knows who they are. We don't have to guess like that. Eastern Coast community,
mm,
and not really knowing the person or knowing their heritage. He's going by look. No, that's his
mhm.
prejudice. You know,
Exactly.
that's his
Exactly.
prejudice, and that's his ignorance. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm. We shouldn't get upset because we on the East Coast uh, um, did not sell out, okay, and abandon the land, okay. So everybody thinks it's chic to be on the reservation and blah blah blah. But what were the Indian Wars fought about? They didn't want to be on the reservation.
that's what Chief Sitting Bull, spiritual leader, I'll say, he was really a spiritual leader. Chief Sitting Bull,
Hmm.
he once the Indian Removal Act, he didn't want to die on a reservation.
Exactly.
Um, that's why they fought so hard, and other tribes, thousands joined in.
That's
The
right.
Arapaho, the Northern Cheyenne, and the Sioux. They
Hmm.
all banded together against oppression because they didn't want to be pushed to reservations. Geronimo and
Yep.
so many other great leaders.
Hmm.
Chief Tecumseh, he fought real hard to bring unity with native tribes together,
Hmm.
so that they could win over encroaching whites,
Hmm.
and people don't even know some of the history of the Alamo. One of the major reasons that battle was fought was because Chief Santa Anna and other leaders fought very hard against racism against slaves, and Mexico protected, uh, melanated people of the, what you say, African persuasion. And the Texas Revolution came about, and they won that battle. So there's so many different groups fighting against oppression on all levels, slavery and Indian removal, and it just goes on and on.
Hmm. Exactly. Um, And we have a few more comments here. Um, let's see. Um, the Klan dress up like Moors of Spain and flip the cross burning ritual in something negative. Spain just had their Easter holiday this past weekend and they were walking the streets. Yeah, I talked about that. Oh man, decades ago. About the um, you're talking about the Moors in Seville. They wear um, all white, and they have hoods, white hoods on in a conical shape. Um, that was what they call the Negro Brotherhood in Seville, Spain. Okay. Um, and again, um, you know, um, they always take our stuff and flip it into something else. You know, yeah.
Well, Hitler took swastika. He took the four directions and the
Yep.
symbols of love and peace, and he made it something negative. And
Mm-hmm. He
that
had that among his
symbol is
personal
one of our symbols. It's also in India. It's also in uh, Asian civilizations, and he
Mm-hmm.
took it and he made it something very ugly. He turned the points around, and made it a negative. So yes, they do take out things and use it against us.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We have some more. Okay, somebody's thanking. Says shalom. Thanks for sharing. Um, that's Amy O'Donnell. All right. Shalom. Yeah. I appreciate your support for the channel, tuning in. Let's see what we have here. American Research News Channel. Anyone know any Dunn, Cockrell, or Tillman in Alabama or West Mississippi? You know any of those, Firebird? Any of those surnames?
Tillman, I've heard of,
Hmm.
but not in Alabama or Mississippi.
Now, there's someone in the comment section who has. Um, find that comment. Let's see here. Somebody has um, black Black Cobra 95 says I work with somebody last name Dunn and in the coat of arms book Dunn had a black Moor's head in knight's armor as his picture. Okay,
Mm.
so I don't know if that was helpful um, to American Research News Channel, but somebody has something to add to that. Let's see. Okay, so American Research News Channel says Dunn has more than 500 years of documented presence in North Carolina and Canada. Okay, nice. Thanks for that piece of information there. Okay, and K Stowe says the East Coast is awakening. Exactly. Exactly. Let me see. See if I missed anybody. All right, so we got some more. Miss Lewak Flamethrower. Okay, thank you for tuning in. And we also have the Sacred Grove. Peace and love, good people. Yeah, peace and love to the Sacred Grove. Yeah, for those who are watching, tune into the Sacred Groves channel. Sacred Grove dropped some nice jewels as well, um, as well as American research team. Check out both of their channels. I hope I didn't leave anybody out.
You got the Sacred Grove.
Yeah. And also, if y'all, when you get a chance, whoever didn't get a chance to um, do, hit a thumbs up on the video. It helps for the information to get out. Um, and also, if anyone wants to leave a donation, I left the link in the chat as well. Um, and I think that might do it for today. We've been on for a while. How long have we been on? Let me see. About,
4 minutes or 3.5 minutes shy of 3 hours.
I didn't mean for it to go this long.
I'm
I really
serious.
did.
You know why I'm laughing, right?
Yeah, I know exactly why you're laughing. I only wanted to go like 30 minutes, but it's
I
so much.
remember.
Man, I got so much. Let me just give y'all an example of the amount of information it is just on this topic. I could probably go, let's put it this way, I could probably go a year on just this topic of Moors and Indians alone without repeating one bit of information. you know, um, I'm just gonna pick out random, you know. Um, it's random. I'm just picking out of these many folders. This is just random. An article. What happened to the Canaanites? Where are they today? Okay, and You see how many pages this is? You see I've been all through it, all the highlights. I'm just picking random out of some of these folders. It's too much. Oh, don't let me go there. I might not even mention this one because this is in the book. For those who think we don't have a Moorish connection, or the American Indians and Moors are something separate. Here's one right out of. I don't even want to pull this one out. I'm spoiling the book, but I'm not spoiling the book. I got so much information in the book. Look here. The Mandinka Indians. So there's no connection to the Moors. Moors are not Indians, blah, blah, blah. So why is there a group called Mandinkas? Why is a tribe of Indians called Mandinkas? What they say Kunta Kinte was? Mandinka?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You can't make this stuff up.
You can't make it up.
And I'm just pulling random out of the files. Because I said I can go on. Oh man, I'm not even gonna talk about this here. I'm not even gonna pull this out. I can't cast my pearls to swine. Ooh, I'm not gonna pull this one out. Nope. Oh, that's in the book. Let me see. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I spoke about that before. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing too. No, I'm not even gonna stop to talk about that. We'll be going a whole nother hour.
3 hours and 19 seconds.
Yeah. Whoo. Oh boy, here we go. Mr. Stevens. Okay. Mr. Stevens of Georgia. Okay. Let me put it up so y'all can see it. Can y'all see that?
Mr. Stevens of Georgia. The Mexican War. Okay.
Mr. Stevens of Georgia in the book of the Mexican War. Okay.
What year did he write that?
Delivered on the subject of the Mexican War, delivered in the House of Representatives on June 16th, 1846. Washington. Printed by J. and G. R. Gadwin, 1846. Oh, oh my goodness.
You're going to be reading tonight, huh?
Oh my goodness. No, I already noticed. I've talked about this already.
But I mean, as a source of some new information to share?
No, because I already shared it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I shared it already in the previous. I talked about this in the Moors and Indians lecture. Um, but what it talks about here, it talks about the Indians and the Moors. Like I said, and two, I just make it a habit of, presenting new information. I don't like to go backwards, but I'll just recap a little bit. Um, let me turn on some light. Well, actually, I just turn this towards. I use my flashlight. Okay, so the stupendous deserts between the Nueces and the Bravo, the Rio Grande, or Del Norte rivers are the natural boundaries between the Anglo-Saxon and the Mauritanian races. There ends the Valley of the West. There
Monocani.
Mexico begins. Thence, beyond the Bravo, begin the Moorish people and their Indian associates, to whom Mexico properly belongs, who should not cross that vast desert if they could, as on our side, we too ought to stop there, because interminable conflicts must ensue from either our going south or their coming north. Wait. There, you talk two separate people coming north? No, it says they're coming north of that gigantic boundary. While peace is cherished, that boundary will be sacred. Not till the spirit of conquest rages will the people on either side molest or mix with each other, and whether they do, one or the other race must be conquered, if not extinguished. So they have a boundary between the Anglo-Saxons and the Indians and Moorish peoples, who the land properly belongs, it says. Did you hear that?
I
So,
think the boom bat spirit hit you.
yeah. So it's saying here, Moors and Indians, they're saying they're allies, not enemies. So what happened to Moors and Moors being the enemies? You see what I'm saying? Doesn't say that in this book, but again, this is a small book. But again, you have to do your research. You can't use a broad definition, um, or should I say, a narrow. You can't use you can't generalize, should I say, and you can't generalize and use a narrow definition of Moors and say all Moors across the board, or this or that. Okay. Even when you talk about in Europe, you had different groups of Moors right in Europe, right in Spain. Okay. Or when you talk about the Moors that came over here with the colonizers. Okay. Um, you're not even talking about all the same Moors then. Okay. And that's another subject for another time. Okay. But I'm just pulling random stuff, out of these files. That one I did cover, but there's so much more in here. Some of that I said I wasn't gonna, even though I pulled them out of the files, I wasn't gonna mention because it's in the book. I'll go to another file and just pull random stuff. Let me see here. See, I'm going in a file. See all these files?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about that. See, I saved some things for the arsenal. Okay. And I like to have some weapons, stealth, So this one here, I'm not even gonna talk about because I may need it as a weapon one day. And I'll talk about it in the book. If you want it, you'll get it in the book. Um, let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, early America and Hindu culture. I'm just pulling out at random.
Right. Yeah.
I even talk about that yet.
Hidden history in America, we know.
Mm. Ooh, I got some nuclear bombs in here. Oh man, these are things I haven't even gotten a chance to talk about yet. Just to give you all an idea. Oh, look, Firebird. When people don't believe me when I say, they may believe me, but talk about the I just had it. Hold on. Hold on. Here it is right here. You know about this, Firebird. This is how far back I go. You know why I put this up.
Old stomping ground. Old stomping ground.
Tell them what you know about that, Firebird.
Oh, a big research center and museum in the Bronx, New York, the borough of the Bronx, New York. And it was a hotbed of information that we all used to go in there and do research. And mysteriously, they decided to take it down and spread the books out. I guess they got a little scared. That's my
Yeah,
take of the situation.
yeah. So that's how far the fierce truth seeker goes back with this. I used to do research there. Pull up a lot of documents. That library / museum doesn't even exist anymore. I
Now,
know
why
where a
would you
lot of
take
the
a
books.
library and a museum? Why would you take a library and a museum down?
Exactly. They had some jewels in there, and I know where they took a lot of the books. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, I know where they took a lot of the books. We'll talk about that when we get
Yeah.
off the air. Yeah, certain things. So there's certain things, family, that we're not gonna put out into the public. You know, so for obvious reasons. You know, um, but we'll have it where
Mm-mm.
you know, um,
Mm-mm.
if you want to join, we'll have it where you could um, join with a small group of us, um, get a membership, and you know, um, we'll get to talk about some things that we don't really talk about that much, um, outwardly, in the public. Um, but yeah, I think on that note, there's too much. I got too much information. There's tons of information. Um, I do want to do a presentation about the history of the Fez in ancient America and among the American Indians. Okay. Um, that is up and coming because I know that I did speak about doing it, and someone actually had requested that I do it. when I was doing the lecture series. And since people are interested, um, I will do that. Okay. Um, and I would like to have gotten into that today. That's what I got. That's one of the reasons why I wore the fez, but I didn't know that we were gonna go this long. And I've got to start preparing dinner because my wife is gonna be home soon.
I'm
Um,
coming to your house.
okay, yeah, for sure. I do it up. So
Yeah. I know who the chef is in the house.
yeah, but yeah, this was a nice build. Nice presentation. I thank everyone um, to for coming out and supporting the channel. Let's see here. There's a couple of more comments. Appreciate you, Stephen Starr. Um, she's definitely so
Love
he
the
was
name,
definitely
Steven
support.
Starr. Love the name.
Yeah, yeah, sounds like a celebrity.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Celebrity in his own right, I'm sure.
Yeah. Um, and there's another comment here. Um, is there a way to get a hold of me and the guest? Yes, I'll post that now. Um, Typing it now.
Mm-mm. Riley, I have my own show as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there also. But I think he wants a way to contact. Um,
Oh, okay.
let's see. And
Mm-mm.
let's see. Um, let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna give you that other one, and you can tell them how to get in contact with you, Firebird, as well.
They can write me on my show as far as in the comment section.
Okay, that's how I can be contacted. And Firebird, you can contact her on her um, Firebird.
This way, I'll easily see their comment opposed to emailing me because I get so many emails. It's kind of hard to keep up. Mm-mm.
So her YouTube page is Native Voices Turtle Island.
TV.
Oh, I'm sorry, TV. It's Voices Turtle Island TV, y'all. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and on that note, I guess we can get off of here. And I thank everyone and who showed up. And again, I don't like to attack people, and their information. I like to make it fun. I like to make it humorous. I just like to share information. I put the information out there for you to decide what to do with it. I don't tell anyone you have to believe this or have to believe that. you know, and we also reserve the right to agree to disagree. We got that right as well too. You know, um, we just build and have fun. And I always tell people do what I do when I look at information. I take what's good, and whatever's not good, I just discard. you know. But don't take my word for anything. Do your own research. You know, um, again, I started off as a Moor basher. you know, and it was only through years of due diligence and actually doing the research. That's why I always tell people. I ask them, well, what books have you read on the Moors, because you may have an opinion, just based on what you heard, but then when you do the research, then you're going to come into more information, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, and it's going to broaden your scope, you know. Um, and again, I can pull. I have books, so many books. I showed you all the files that I got just on the topic, and I have so much information. I could just at random just pull up books that I have around here on Moors. Let me see. Now here's one right here, "The Golden Age of the Moor." Okay, edited by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, which is it's a collection of essays done by various authors. Okay, and they're coming from different perspectives. Okay, and that's how you should do your research. I can pull up another one, "Ancient and Modern Britons." Okay, by David McRitchie. This is a two-volume book. There's a volume one. This is volume one, and there's a volume two. Okay, this is an excellent book. I mean, this is one of the best on the Moors because again, you guys are being too narrow with your definitions and concepts of what Moors are and where they come from. And this book is very good because he puts a whole a beautiful spin on that, and coming from a very broad range in terms of who the Moors are in this book. You know, I can also grab from right here, and all these are in reach. I'm not even at the bookshelf. I'm just in another room here. Reaching here, right here. Here's another one. Here's another book. Othello's Children in the New World: Moorish History and Identity in the African American Experience by Jose Pimienta Bay. Okay. And again, these are just books that I'm just grabbing um within reach, right around me, you know. Um I got plenty more books. I'm not even at the bookshelf, you know. But I read these books. And see, that's how I make my determination. And as you can see, I haven't even read this book in a while, and you can see, look at the look at how used up it is. You see, look at all the dog ears and the annotations. See, I got pages. Show you. See highlights. It's all marked up. Highlights. Okay, and annotations. You have to learn how to highlight. You have to learn how to annotate. You know. See, I'm all over the book. All over. All over. See, when I research, see all the paper clips, you know, dog ears, you know, see the dog ears. When I do research, I go thoroughly, so that I can speak on a topic and not just, based on my feelings, because you got to remember, you're dealing with the public. So you can't just put irresponsible information out there. One thing you can say about the fierce truth seeker is going to give you responsible research. Okay. And I'm not trying to pimp any particular ideology with you because ideology to you because I always tell you do your own research. And on that note, I'm gonna get out of here and start making dinner before my wife comes in here with an attitude, and be like,
Gonna come in with a boom bat.
come in with the boom bap, because women like to eat.
Tell me about it.
Oh
Tell me
man,
about it.
yeah,
Give her my love.
I surely will.
Tangui.
Yeah.
Hasta Iga. Hasta Sonoi.
All right, everybody. Until the next time.
Anigido. Anigido.
Do da da. Go home.
Dona Daka, honey. Mm-mm.